it's Isles.
And Kim, we're from Your Life Movement, and we wanted to talk today about keeping the spirit alive in children. You know, we've got such a heavy school system and such a matrix of, pathways already predicted in our futures. Children are travelling down the same education path as they've always travelled down the last 250 years. Nothing's changed. We know that, really. So how do we keep that spirit alive? And I know that school tends to knock that out of them, knock that creativity out, that, that spirit, that thing that makes them come alive.
Well, if you look at the research, isn't it where the Industrial Revolution, where school was created to create obedient workers.
Obedient workers who turn up every day, do as they're told, they're compliant, and they put their hand out and receive payment at the end of the day. So we don't want to create a future of children that just does that. Mm-hmm. And I think your eldest is on a very different path to some of his peers. Not wanting to go to university, he wants to explore different things. And let's face it, how many millionaires are 13, 14? And it's all happening in their, in the comfort of their own bedrooms, creating these amazing apps and businesses and things like that. I mean, there are some children that get the understanding that actually I don't want to be a part of the system.
Yeah, I think it's that, it's such a fine line, isn't it? Because unless even when I went to university, I did like business and management, and I always wished I did something like, a doctor or a physio, like something quite a profession as opposed to, but then I think it's that expectation of you're going to go to university, you're going to get a good job, you're going to, like we follow these rules and it doesn't really lead to anything.
You get a boyfriend, you have to get married before you move in and then have a baby. We don't do any of that, but it's that pre-mapped out journey of your life. And I just think children, they're different. After the pandemic, post-pandemic, they are different thinkers now. We have seen a world that can open up to be such a different space. We can thrive in the comfort of our own homes now. We can provide support and help to many other communities just from our laptops. Like, we've seen a massive change. We don't necessarily have to follow the system. And I think whilst we do need to conform to some point with our children, there is very much a we have to keep the spirit alive in our kids. We have to keep their bellies ignited with passion and purpose, and always trusting their gut and their intuitions on things. I think that's something that I've noticed as an educator that's gone missing.
Yeah.
And people have lost trust. They've lost trust in the system, in themselves, in each other. Like it's a lot. And divorce rates have surged. We've got suicide rates have surged, and I think that is that some people's lights have gone out or they've been dimmed, and I just don't want that to be our children. I suppose. So how do we get that back? What's the signs actually that has actually that is actually your child? How do we know that's happening?
I think they become quite depressed, or they don't want to get out of bed, or they get very quiet, or they get very
anxiety on a Sunday night.
They're very flat, and they don't want to interact or engage. And I think it's back to that whole thing about buffering and buffering, like going on their phone or escaping, and that leads to drugs, and it can lead to it's quite a scary path. So
slippery slope too.
Finding those signs, catching them, and just really drawing out what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and what's going on inside for them.
Absolutely.
Because it could be whether it's something that they just don't feel that they're good enough, they don't feel that they're smart enough. We had some kids the other day saying, I don't know why they go to that school because they're not very smart. And it's like, there's school smart, and then there's
that's right. Then there's life smart. Yeah, exactly. So and I think we've got some great partnerships happening in the background for us too, where we have got that online courses, etc., and links to how to get your kids life ready. There's school ready and then there's life ready. And I think for me, I've seen the light there. I really feel as though that is what we should be teaching our kids. It's the stuff that school's not teaching them, and it's crucial. Yeah. It's crucial to navigate the future, and we'll talk more about that in the next one of our videos.
Have a good day.